This is my project, which is a Midi sequencer using a thermal camera. Here are the electronics. Let's start with the giant board. So this is running Linux. Has an SD card installed for the storage. I installed these long headers in this orientation because it's sandwiched between the display and this tripler board that you'll see. There's that. This is the music maker. So I had to perform some modifications to this. As you could see, I have it in Midi mode. So I shorted this jumper. I added this jumper and cut the reset pin so that I could reset this board by itself through this GPIO from the giant board, because the way this communicates is the Midi is UART, which uses the same UART pin that the giant board uses for normal communications. So it gets confused. I could reset it and then set the correct baud rate and talk to this correctly. I'm not using the headphone jack here. Instead, I'm just using one channel, which I soldered between ground and left. And instead of using a headphone jack, I'm using this plug. I know it's a power plug, but it's what I had that's 2 pins. So that would plug directly into the speaker here. Next up is the display. It's an Adafruit 3.5-inch TFT Featherwing. This is completely unmodified. I'm using it just as is. Then here we go with the thermal camera. This only needs 3.3, ground, and clock and data. And then this is a tripler that actually cut one of the additions off, and I have it powered by USB here. So let me show you how this all goes together. So on the bottom of this sandwich, we have the TFT Featherwing, and then the giant board is connected to that. Next up, we have this tripler, which will connect everything together. So first thing, I'm going to connect this on like so. So that goes in there. And then this connects into here. So we have the giant board in the middle, the music maker shield's right next to it, and then we will attach the thermal camera here. So what's happening is you have the display facing you, and the camera is facing away from you. So like a normal video camera, you could get a viewfinder of what you're seeing. So that's the stack up right there. The enclosure is 3D printed from 2 pieces. This holds the display, has a hole in the bottom for battery, and a hole in the side for debugging. The USB port goes through there. And this is the speaker, and has room for the thermal camera to fit through. The assembly goes like this. So I'm going to attach the speaker that. This kind of sits in there. Go. Lastly, we could add the battery, and that slides in here. And then it's kind of like a handle. Hold it by that. Now I can turn on the battery and it will power on. Don't need this screen protector anymore. Now we're basically listening to something that's about the same temperature. So as it goes through each column, it plays the notes where increasing the scales in the temperature of that dot plays a note in that scale. And they're all played simultaneously as it goes across. So now it's pretty much noise, but by changing what's happening, so now my finger's in front of the display, you can see the bottom's kind of hotter. I can move it up. You can kind of hear the sound change.